can start.
All right. Assalamu alaikum. How's it going, everyone? This is Ashraf Najib from Trainome, the marketing manager and the business and entrepreneurship specialist for teaching. And
Perfect.
I'm
And
with,
I'm Zara.
no, Thor, I was going to say, I'm going to say, and let me introduce you to my colleague. Ready? You want to talk to us about your specialty, your role, what you do?
Okay, so thank you very much. It's nice to see you, Ashraf. You did a live before this, so you've been very, very busy in relation to lives and Instagram and whatnot. So it's like, this is technology and this is the way that we are communicating these days. So my name is Zara and I'm Ashraf's teammate, I would say. But Ashraf is more like my نسيب. عشان دائما لما اتكلم مع أشرف يقول لي لا أنا النسيب. So yeah, I'm one of the core specialists. And I'm dealing in relation to course specification, especially English language. And today we are going to be speaking to you about technology and addiction. So myself and Ashraf are going to speak to you about 3 points. And it's not going to be as long as we did have last time, because before we had to explain pretty much everything. So today it's only one part of our course. This is the second part of our course where we do try and touch on many different areas and many subjects, because in relation to how we are doing things today, this is how we are communicating in these days where we can't catch a flight. I'm in Spain. Ashraf, you can come, but clearly you can't because the Spanish government and the British government have said no. So the areas we're touching on, as you know, Ashraf, there are 6 different areas. So in relation to addiction, in relation to how technology is or has impacted our life, in relation to management, scheduling, and also when you're talking about using technology in a specific way. So Ashraf, we're going to be speaking in relation to the 3 areas. The areas that you teach, you're going to speak about, and the areas that I teach. So راح نحاول نتكلم معكم العربي، بس راح أخلي أشرف يتكلم، راح نخلط اللغات. يلا يا قمر ابدأ.
ما عندك أي مشكلة. فزي ما زارة قالت لكم الليلة الموضوع حقنا عن التكنولوجيا وعن الكوميونيكيشن، عن الاتصال، وبالذات يعني الوقت اللي احنا عايشين فيه مع مرض الكورونا ده تأثيره على العالم، يعني خلى إنه الناس يعني التواصل بقت ذاته بطريقة مختلفة، وكمان يعني دخلت مع العالم بتاع التكنولوجيا. بعدين نحن بندرس يعني في المعهد بتاعنا اسمه ترينومي، يعني بندرس البزنس والتكنولوجيا والديزاين وبرضه اللغات. فيعني بالذات نحن حندخل لكم الحاجات، يعني الموضوع عندنا لانه كيف التدريس حقي والكورسات حقات زارا. So you were talking about like 6 different areas, weren't you? Should we start? Which one do you want to start on? And do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
No, because you're going to be speaking about addiction. So I just realized I have a shiny forehead. But yeah, go on. You're more in relation to presenting, you're better. You've been doing it longer than me, so.
Don't worry. It's all, practice makes perfect. And Rome wasn't built in a day, so don't worry. You're a natural. So basically addiction. So and the first and the biggest addiction is probably like the phone addiction and having a phone, like, right. And for me it's so bad I don't even have just one phone, I have 2 phones, so it's even worse. And it's bad when like you go out and everyone's on their phone, like you're on the bus, everyone's on their phone, or when you're out with your friends, you're all sitting there, everyone's. So that is a big problem. And then in terms of like the issues around addiction, you know what I mean? It could lead to other stuff, and a more dangerous route. So what we're trying to do is to give you sort of different tools, different mechanisms. So the first thing is about recognizing and realizing and making yourself a bit more aware about what addiction actually is, how it looks like, and then maybe like how it could like appear. And then after that, once people are a little bit more self-aware, I need to focus on giving them tools that could like, not prevent them, because nothing is like 100%. But in terms of like, they're more equipped, they're better able to like to deal with it or to process it or to have like things in place to like not only like watch out for it, but also to like what to do when it happens. Um,
Mm.
and sort of, and they're
How many
called
hours?
CVT. Sorry, continue.
I have a question for you. How many hours do you think like you spend in relation to like touching or holding or using your phone? Because most people sit there like, oh, da, 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 da. How many hours would you say you spend in a day?
Um, I could safely, easily say like 7 to 9 hours, but at the same time, in my defense, like I do have a page to run. You know, like so the entrepreneur needs to be like attended to and managed. And then on top of that, like I've got multiple accounts. So like, and then like I do so much stuff with my phone. Like I know everyone else does. You know, like in terms of like if you buy stuff from Amazon or like in terms of like Netflix or YouTube. You know, but in terms of I prefer to use my phone than to use the laptop as well. So I guess if
Mm.
you're including laptop as well, which is I'm trying to include it, I mean definitely like a good 9 hours. I don't know.
So
What
in
about
when
you?
you're
Yeah.
when you're like sitting there, for instance, like, like every morning I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, I need to go on my phone. There's so much I need to do. Because when you're talking about addiction, like you did before, it depends in relation to like what type of addiction you do have, because addiction is like so in relation to في اشياء كثيره لما تتكلم عن addiction. يعني مو بس على التليفونات بس، عشان اليوم موضوعنا بس التكنولوجيا الكوميونيكيشن. لما انت جالس مثلا تتكلم مع اهلك اشرف في السودان وجالس 5 ساعات، انت تعرف ناس السودان تسلم على عمك وعلى خالك وعلى خالتك وعلى سيد الجيران وعلى سيد البقال وما ادري ايش، وانت like جالس كذا.
With
And then you can
the-
stop. It's already like 1 hour waste, not wasted, but you know what I mean.
yeah, yeah, yeah. By the time you catch up with everyone, you'll be like, yo, and let's see, I lost my food بعد كده. So if she know بعد. Like in يعني بجد, we do spend way too much. And then also there's a lot of other types of addictions that we and that in terms of like يعني that the problems of like the addiction can cause, you know what I mean? Whether
Mm,
it's like and whether you're getting into like excessive drinking or drug abuse, or in terms of
mm,
like self-harm, or in terms of like a lot of things. So
mm,
we're gonna touch upon, and because basically the way that we're trying to do it is to try to make a tailor-made package. If
mm,
you want and if you prefer, because for me, I know myself, like I need to be in an environment where there's more than one person. I've got a
mm,
classroom,
mm,
you know, I can ask questions and stuff. But I know other people, they prefer to have like the one-on-one. So and we've got those all those different options there. And then and here we're just trying to talk about general terms. So that's why I didn't want to go too much into like
mm.
the details and stuff like that.
I have
But
like
there's a lot of addiction issues.
last time we did this, we got told that we were like in therapy, so
I know couples
that
therapy. I
I
love
found
it.
very funny. So thank you for your YouTube comments. It was very nice to see that we've had so many views and no dislikes, which is really, really good, because this is like Ashraf said, this is a new type of platform, and we're trying to give you a taster of what things you're going to be learning with us. So terms like for instance, like Ashraf, do you know what FOMO and JOMO is? Do you know what those two terms mean in
I think
social
I've heard of
media?
FOMO, but I don't know JOMO. I don't even know JOMO is what.
So FOMO is fear of missing out, and JOMO is
Oh
the
yeah,
joy
I
of
totally have
missing out.
FOMO. I have big FOMO issues.
Psychology sit there with the books, say, this is what you have, this is what you need to do, and this is how you can find the solution. So there are actually like training centers, in China that teach people to, be less addicted to their phones. But I think like we live in a society where we're constantly like, I wake up and I'm like, what's Ashraf doing today? What's Ahmed doing today? Like what are my teammates doing today? So social media is not really just like WhatsApp and Skype. I use Skype all the time, like WhatsApp, Skype, Facebook,
LinkedIn.
Instagram. And we paint this picture of like, oh, oh, look at this person. They've done this and they've gone there. And what am I doing in my house? Some people are like, I don't really care what people are doing, because it's more like, I don't really. So FOMO is like, I don't really care of being by myself, but I want to be a part of something. And JOMO is like, I know who I am, but I think like these terms can be somewhat mixed in some places. So when you're talking about like addiction, we're considering addiction in relation to like different areas of social media, especially the way that we are addicted to our phones constantly. You wake up in the morning, the first thing that we do, what do you do the first thing, Ashraf? Because I check my phone, I'm guilty of that. I'm like,
Yeah,
Mama, sabah al khair.
yeah. The first thing
You
that you
know,
have to do, check your phone, check the messages, check like emails, check. I always check the sports news because I want to see Man United winning as they always win. Excites me.
so like Liverpool United, we had this conversation earlier on, thanks to technology. You know, we were like, oh my, you were telling me about it, and you're like, because I used to work for Leicester City Football Club, and me and Ashraf were talking about it earlier. So technology gives us that closeness, that interaction that we need when we're so far away, because you are 1 hour behind me and I'm 1 hour ahead, and it's close in relation to. It brings a form of like unity, but we tend to forget how we are managing it. So, in relation to management, because Ashraf, I know that you're going to be teaching management and how you can cut down your time and how you can become more sensible, I guess. So, what are you going to be doing in relation to that?
All right. So basically, the first thing is to sit down and evaluate who you are. So looking at like those psychometric tests in terms of like
Mm,
what your personality is. And then the second thing is to look at the theoretical concepts of what different styles of management are, and then tailoring the two of them in terms of finding something that you get practical advice, you get theoretical advice, but then you put it into like a hands-on project. And that project can either be like a theoretical concept that I could like give you, or it could be
mm,
about what it is that you want to set up once you finish the course. So if you have like a business idea, we can always try to link the marketing or the strategy or the sales or the management style or the in terms of like the what's the word that you love to use in terms of like the skillshare, like
life
skills.
skills.
That's it, the life skills.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like for me, I'm a big believer and I'm a big doer and in terms of like mental wellness and mental health and well-being. So I've done a lot of I've been on a couple of programs and I did some training as well. So I'll definitely try to incorporate those. But at the same time, yeah, the package is more about what it is that you want to get out of it. So I'm trying to share what the experience I've got, and then give you the condensed stuff that you need for your particular your journey. And then at the same time, these are like also open classes in terms of like 3 to 9 to 18 in terms of like the sizes. So the option is always there in terms of like having like a dedicated plan with other people in terms of the curriculum, in terms of structure. And then the plan is how like we're doing them over like what was the time frame? Yeah, Zara.
92. So there's 92 weeks worth of lessons. And the idea is that you have 43 lessons with Ashraf and you have the rest with me. So what we're going to do is combine that both of them together. So for instance, if you want to have a class where myself and Ashraf are going to monitor you in relation to tackling and in relation to understanding your needs, I think that it's best you have two people who are from very, very different walks of life, because Ashraf, you're like on your phone 24/7, and I've only just gotten into the habit of it. And into the habit of it, I mean like not calling my mama and saying, Mama, 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 تعرف إيش صار اليوم, but it's more like, so I have dinner with my family on the phone, as you know. So it's kind of like, I'm like, sometimes I feel like technology in the past and technology in the present has had so much more of an impact in my life, when before I thought it's not something that's very intriguing, it's not something that's very interesting, but nowadays it is something that is needed. And the idea of sitting with you guys and explaining to you that you don't have to just sit on your phone 24/7, but you can access the website, and if you do access the website, you can actually see the type of courses that we do offer. So when we're talking about technology, we're talking about it from two different sides. So you have Ashraf, who will talk to you about communication, technology, innovation, this type of thing. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be speaking to you about the addictions and the problems that are, generated, or, and I wouldn't use the word generated, the problems that it causes if you are sitting there. The worst thing that you can do, as you know, is to go to a restaurant and sit there with your friends and, be on your phone taking pictures of your food. Because for me, that's like something really, really, how can I put it?
Rude.
It's something that I would, yeah, it's rude. Like تخيل أشرف جيتك في بريطانيا وقعدت معك كذا في التليفون، وأنا صار لي لك سنة شغالة معك، وجلست في التليفون أقول لك دقيقة 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 خالي بس بأصور الأكل كذا ما أدري إيش سالفة أمي، or it's like لا 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 أشرف, like look, we've got to do this. So this is who we are. So basically this is Ashraf and this is myself. As you know, we're not going to be on for very long today like we did have last time. We just wanted to brush up on some areas. So Mr. Ashraf, and would I call myself Miss or Mrs. or what should I change my name to?
I
Like
think we should just stick with the Ustaz Ashraf and Ustaz Zara. That's the perfect way.
لا بس يا أخي أنا بكون أبلة because
Yeah, and
إنسان
I don't
يعيب.
like Mr. Ashraf. If you want to do Mr., you can say Mr. Khalifa. That's,
No, but do you remember like in school when you go into school and the teacher is like the girls' school, they're like you get up and you're like نورت الفصل يا أبلة ما أدري شنو يا أحلى وردة في البستان وين أعطتني صورتها راح أعطيها لمامتها. Oh my god. So basically that's what I think about when I think Abla. So yeah, I'm Professor Zara because we're a little bit more older now, and Mr. Professor Ashraf. So Ashraf, like we said, it wasn't going to be that long today. So thank you very much for your time. We didn't speak to
you're
you
very
very, very
welcome.
much today, but we're going to do small parts of like what we do within our courses. So you're going to have around 92 weeks worth of 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes. If you are interested in, in taking a course with us, as you know, Trainome, however you want to pronounce it, it's Trainome. Sorry, I'm dyslexic. And then in relation to if you are contacting us, please feel free to contact us. It's on Instagram as well as on Facebook. And we do look forward to seeing you pretty soon. So, Mr. Ashraf, this is really short, but
Short and sweet. We're gonna
yalla
be
habaib.
posting it on the YouTube, so
Yes,
keep an eye on that. Make sure you guys share, subscribe, like, make it go viral, and then go to our website and sign up for your courses and get your knowledge. And on Friday we've got our Afkar Shababna series. We're gonna announce the guest very soon, and then next week we're gonna be talking about a different subject. So make sure you tune in same time, or maybe an hour earlier. I'm not sure.
perfect.
Yalla,
So,
salam.
see you Tuesday. So, it's Tuesday next time around 9 o'clock. So, the same time, roughly the same time as today. So, Ashraf is the most loveliest person you will ever meet, even though sometimes I feel like killing him,
Oh,
because this is this is like online. But I'm sure when I see you, it's going to be a very different thing. But thank you,
very, very
Ashraf, for
different type of
today.
course.
يلا
Yeah,
حبيبي الله يحفظك.
yeah.
مع
Allah,
السلامة
Allah,
يلا باي باي.
yeah, assalamu
باي
alaikum,
guys.
ya jama'ah.